Hey guys, JB here from Alpha Wolf Consulting, coming to you today with a very exciting exclusive mastermind program that I have produced in conjunction with my new admin to help their members perform and develop and be supported to become their ideal self, to become the best version of their self. All right, so we'll jump in and we'll run through it. And in this video, I'm going to give you a brief understanding of the program, what we're going to be doing in the program, and a bit of a background on myself, and a bit of a background on why I put together this program, why it's important to me, and a bit about why helping others is important to me. All right. So basically, in the My New Admin Performance Development and Support Mastermind program, okay, I'm going to be helping you to understand how to not only, okay, learn, develop, and support yourself, but how to support your team or others around you to being able to perform and develop and become their best version of their self. So, all of the information that we go through in this program, my intention is to help you understand it to a specific level to where you're able to then teach others so that the benefits you get from this program aren't just for you. They're for every staff member that you have currently and that you will ever have in the future. I am going to give you such knowledge throughout this program in areas such as, high level state management and understanding thought, understanding how your thoughts created, understanding how to create thoughts, understanding, what thoughts are your own, what thoughts are other people's, being able to use your thoughts to influence your biochemical responses. So, just through thinking happy thoughts, I can release happy chemicals into my body. But also, I'm going to teach you some pretty awesome things around understanding the conscious and the subconscious mind. And this understanding will help you to, like me, become a high performer. Okay. So throughout my life, that's been one of my goals is to be in the top 10% in whatever I do in life. So to be an ultra performer. And that's what a lot of this information will cover, will be personal information and personal practices and a lot of research and analytics that I've done around these topics. Now, what we're also going to look at is we're going to look at understanding communication, conscious communication and subconscious communication. So, understanding, you know, how are my how is the language I use and the tonalities I use influence other people? How does it alter and shift their perception so that in the moment when I'm communicating and talking to someone else, I'm able to measure their facial expressions in micro expressions to understand how they're absorbing the information or, the conversation that I'm having with them and to be able to decipher their internal dialogue from that. So being able to understand, hey, does this person think my breath smells? Does this person think, all these different things? So understanding communication, but then also understanding utilization of the vocal range, utilization of pitch, tonality, things like that, and how that alters and influences the language that we use, how the tonality of the language or the word said can alter and shift the meaning behind the words. Okay. And then we're going to look at in the program some high level problem solving and understanding how to reshape your current thoughts or reshape your thoughts so that you're able to become whoever and whatever you need to be in the moment to achieve victory in any situation. Should someone punch you in the face, you are now a boxer. You understand how to box. Do you sort of understand what I'm saying? Like you are able to become who you need to become. So, if, for example, we are ingrained in very set or specific predictable ways of thinking, well, we sort of naturally tend to limit ourselves because new equals risk, new equals unknown. When we become too comfortable in the known, we forego anything that can ever exist within the unknown. So we just got to understand that what we want to do is we want to be able to become flexible in our decision making, in our thinking, in our problem solving, so that we're able to listen to others and understand what they're saying, understand their perspective, understand how they're problem solving, how they're decision making, and all of this, which allows us to then, in moments, in engagements, in different situations or different challenges in life, well, at least if another person's involved, at least I'm able to understand and determine, well, how do they make decisions just through analysis and watching. Do you sort of understand? But what we're also able to do is become a collective within our own. I can go and listen to Jordan Belford talk about some of the things he's had to go through in sales, and I can gauge his thinking, his capacity for reason, like how he came to those decisions. Do you sort of get it? So I can utilize that perspective, even though it's not like he's not my best mate and I know him intrinsically. It's sort of like based on life circumstances and how he approached challenges and overcame challenges. I can use that memory of him to then alter my ways of thinking because I can think through his eyes. You know what I mean? It's not that we're saying that we're accurate and we can become whoever we want to be, but basically I can see things more from his perspective than my perspective. And that's really important because in high level problem solving, well, being able to work collectively in a team, well, we need to be able to see what value each of us bring. So we don't want to be seeing it as you don't know what you're talking about. You're just talking shit to me. No, we want to be able to say, okay, so you say that we should do it this way. Why do you think we should do it this way? Like, explain to me why this way is good. Like, help me to better understand, because then I'm able to approach that problem with my perspective and now your perspective. So if we understand this allows us to perform not only in team dynamics, but in all kinds of dynamics at the highest level, because we're able to actively become a part of the solution in any problem. In any challenge I face, I become the solution to the problem. Rather than me adding on to the problem by entrenching myself in this is how it's supposed to be, I am able to identify, well, this is how it is. This is where I want to get it to. This is what I need to do to get it there. Do you sort of understand? So this allows us to really, really problem solve, but also to create multi-dimensional or multi-layered thinking. Okay, where we're able to see multiple perspectives or multiple viewpoints on the same data set and understand and see all the different possibilities, options, opportunities, problems, risks, all of that. All right. And then what we're going to do is we're going to jump in and I'm going to teach you about high level manifestation. Okay. So really understanding the core, like the basic information, and I'm going to tell you right now, but the basic information around manifestation or ways of going about manifestation is that when I want something, and I think, oh, gee, I would like a new car. I think, what car would I like? I would like a BMW. Okay, how much does a BMW cost? Oh, it costs 45 grand. Cool. Okay, where do I get the 45 grand from? Like, this is the process of manifestation. I identify what I want in life. I identify what I need to get it, what I need to do to get it. If I'm hungry, I have to cook food. I have to go and get food. I can sit here and try and manifest food all I want. But if I'm hungry, I can get up and go to the fridge and get a sandwich. Do you sort of get it? Like, I've just accomplished my goal in life. I was hungry, now I'm full. Do you sort of get it? So, manifestation is about being able to identify and visualize what we want, being able to create the path, okay, or identify the path to our goal or ambition or desire, okay. And then what we want to do is we want to be able to just do the work, take the action. Don't fuck around. Do you sort of get it? When I am hungry and I see something I want to eat, I can sit here and want and wish and wait for it all I want, or I can go over there and get it. That's it. I can take the actions to get what I want, or I can sit back and make every excuse for why I didn't get there. Do you sort of see it? The key to manifestation is having a vision for what you want. Identify what you want. It activates your reticular activation gland that tells you and shows you everything that you want in life. Do you sort of get it? And then when I know what I want and I see the path, the actions to take it, if I want to be in love, I must meet someone. Do you sort of get it? Like, if I want to be in love, I must know what love is. I must know what love is to me. Do you sort of get it? When I know what love is to me, now I can go out there and find love within other people. It's sort of this crazy thing. So, an important thing to understand about this is that it is the vision of being able to see what I want. It is knowing the path to take. If I want a six pack, I must work out. Do you sort of get it? And then it's just doing the work. And it doesn't matter. The results will come. If you do the work, the results will come. So that's an important thing that we're going to go through in this aspect of the program, is really diving into understanding, well, if manifestation is just seeing what I want, looking for the path to what I want, and, going for it, doing it, that's it. I can have anything I want in life. I can be anything I want in life. I can achieve anything I want in life. There is no limitations to anything in life. And this is what I am going to teach you in this program. I'm going to teach you some very important aspects of my personal personality and personal beliefs that I have sort of created basically throughout my life. Okay, so an important thing to know, my name is Justin Brunessi, all right? I'm the founder of Alpha Wolf Consulting, and Alpha Wolf Consulting is a professional representation of me. So you will know me as JB, okay? And this has a very, very important meaning to me, and why I go by JB. It's because my conscious mind is Justin. My unconscious mind is the beast. These are my identities. So, should I be talking to you now? I'm talking to you as Justin. Should you attack me and threaten my life, you will meet the beast. Do you sort of understand the subconscious part of me that is survival, that is effort, that is, everything? The aspect of me where I can shut off my fear and just be the, you know, primal predator that I am. Okay. So we just got to understand that we have two consciousnesses in our mind, or three consciousnesses. Okay. So we've got the conscious aspect of my brain, my left hemisphere, the aspect that I'm talking to you now with, that has language, reason, logic, all of this. And then I got the subconscious aspect of me, which is, okay, the memories, the cachet of past experience, my emotions, my feelings, and all of this. But deep in my subconscious, okay, is where my higher consciousness is. My higher consciousness is that voice in the back of my head that tells me everything, my intuition that points me in the direction, that takes me from danger to safety, that that aspect of me that takes control when required. So for example, when we are in a life and death situation, we are not in our conscious mind, we are not even in our subconscious mind. When we are truly in it and switched on, we become the higher consciousness, where I have all of my subconscious ability, my ability to survive. Every instinct is in me. I have my conscious mind, ability to reason, to logic, to process data, to create plans, to create strategies. I'm not just reacting. I am now in control of the situation. And this is the higher consciousness, the aspect of us that controls simultaneously the conscious mind and the unconscious mind, where I can be consciously emotional, where I can consciously work through fears, where I can consciously do anything. So we just got to understand when we get to this aspect of understanding that my conscious mind does not create, is not my identity. My subconscious mind is not my identity. These are tools that my higher consciousness, which is consciousness, okay, it's the aspect of consciousness that is linked to the universe within our brain that gives us the ability to connect to the universe. It's a wild thing, but we will go through it in depth in this program, okay? So you just got to know a little bit about me is throughout my life, okay, I have had one goal. And that goal was or one mantra that I would say. Knowledge is power. Okay. Communication and connection is influence. You know what I mean? So for example, like knowledge is power, but knowledge is not specific information. Knowledge is knowing. Knowledge is being. Knowledge is having that level of understanding where it is a part of you. And in any aspect of your life, you will see this, be it a sport that you love, be it music that you love, be it anything. It's that unrealistic aspect of us, that aspect that puts in everything just to feel secure in our understanding. Okay. So, an important thing to understand about me is that predominantly throughout my life, I do not value anything but knowledge. So for me, learning, adapting, creating processes, all of this through every job I ever worked, like my goal was to absorb knowledge, was to perform and develop. Okay. And in every business I worked in, as a result of my unrelenting work ethic, my ability to develop and learn at a rapid rate, and my willingness to succeed at whatever cost, I would always rise to the top because of my willingness to do what was required, my ability to look at myself as a student and not get stuck in my ego that I am this and I am that, and my ability to do more than was required than others could do. Generally speaking, I do 2 to 3 people's jobs simultaneously because it's not difficult. Most people are just lazy. So that's an important aspect of me that you should understand is that my expectations, okay, for every participant of this program will be to put in an unrealistic effort, to develop an unrealistic work ethic. Not to say that we're working all the time, but if I have a problem, I deal with that problem and I work at that problem until it's dealt with. I don't put the problem off. I don't avoid everything. Do you sort of get it? Like my work ethic wasn't that I did more than other people. It was just I worked more than other people. Like I didn't fuck ass around. I didn't bother with bullshit stories about last Saturday night and talking shit. When I worked, I worked. When I took breaks, I took breaks. That's it. I didn't fuck ass around. That's all it is. So in business, if you want to succeed in business, you just got to stop fuck assing around and do the work. All right. So throughout this whole process, all right. So throughout my working career, I've had probably around 70 to 80 jobs. I stopped counting when I was about 17 because it was pointless. I was over about 40 jobs by then because I wanted to learn and develop. For me, the process, that uncomfortable process of sucking at something, of falling on your face again and again and again while you try to understand, is what I crave in life. That is my desire, is to be in that state of mind, because what I realized was that state of mind elevated my ability, my mental abilities. When I constantly pushed myself to learn and adapt, I was keeping my mind very malleable. So what it meant is I could think a lot quicker, but I could also think across multi levels of information, or multi dimensions of information. When we're talking about the economy, we're not just talking about the financial economy, we're talking about the not the political economy, but the socio-economic economy. Like we're talking about all the different layers that make it up. We're talking about the community of the economy, like how the economy affects the community and all these different things. So do you sort of understand the more different points that we can put in terms of the more expansive our mind is, okay, and the more limber it is in terms of being able to move from one train of thought into a completely adjacent train of thought and flow between them, like, and be able to simultaneously have, you know, counterintuitive thoughts going on where we're thinking about, the financial aspects of our decision, but we're also thinking about the, emotional impact. We're thinking about the human aspect of it. You know what I mean? We're thinking about the brand aspect of it and the interpretation that the market's going to have to this decision. Like, do you sort of understand? Like, we're thinking multi-dimensional because it allows us to see all the different potential problems. But the way to develop our mind to being like this is we have to push it, like at the gym. So we have to go out there and learn things. And it doesn't matter what you learn. It doesn't matter. It's the process. It's pushing your mind to be forced to create new pathways rather than rely on, overly committing to past ones. So if we don't force ourselves to learn, we train our brain to seek the comfort of the known. When we force ourselves to learn, we force our brain to seek comfort in the unknown, which means neural networks that haven't been overly developed are easier to develop. Does it make sense? So that's an important thing you got to understand is the more you push yourself in life in terms of your mental abilities and your physical abilities, the the more refined your body becomes, your mind becomes, the more your memory you can retain. Like the more you focus on developing your memory, the more memory you have. Like memory is just assigning meaning, you know, to past experience or memories, and then all it is we just look for that meaning, okay, and that's the meaning of how we access the memory. Like, does it sort of make sense? Like, we'll go through this in depth in the program, but it's sort of like this is some pretty important information because what it does is it then allows you to become an ultra performer because you have advanced memory storage. Like you can store more information, you can access it easier, you can put yourself into a heightened state in any moment. Do you sort of get it? Like you can put yourself into any point in the world that you want to be in. Who do you want to be? You can be that like that. You can have it like that. Do you sort of get it? So, like with the tools that we're going to go through in this program, you're going to have this ability to, like me, be an ultra performer to where I can do multiple competing projects or simultaneous projects at the same time and not feel any, you know, interference or any downgrade of the quality of the work because I'm just doing the work when it's done. Like when I'm doing video recording, I'm doing video recording. I'm not worried about anything else. Like, do you sort of get it? Like we just do the work. And that's an important thing that we're going to go through. And that's what's really cool. If we're able to get this in drilled into your staff, right? So, for example, if your sales guys know that all I have to do is the work, what is the work? Punching calls and sort of maximizing their effectiveness in the call and in the presentation. Guaranteed results. Trust me, I have done it multiple times across multiple industries. And like within 3 months of any new industry that I'm in, I have between $3 to $5 million in my portfolio that I'm working on in sales. Like it's not difficult. All it is just about lining up the dots and doing the work. Do you sort of get it? So that's what we're going to go through with your teams is really developing that out so they stop telling themselves bullshit stories about why they're failing. You know what I mean? But if you're able to also communicate at a very, very high level with them and understand how your communication alters and affects their emotional states, well, then we can just have some productive conversations that lead to improvements in morale and in effectiveness or effectiveness. Do you sort of get it? All right. So a thing to understand about me is in everything that I learn. So from the age of 14, 15, learning has been everything to me in my spare time. Okay. But I don't try to learn. And this is an important thing that I'm going to teach you is called conditional learning. Okay. So it's not we learn through memorization. No, we learn through conditioning of hearing the same information for thousands of hours until it's ingrained in the back of our head, until it's in there, until it's on repeat, accessible at any point in time. I can focus on trying to memorize everything, but I'm not retaining it. When I know something as if it is my hand, it is a part of me. Do you sort of get it? I have access to it at any point in time. So you just got to understand everything that I talk about. Okay, I am a very honest and open person. If I tell you I sort of understand something, there's about 100 hours of research I've put into it. If I tell you that I understand something, there's about 1,000 hours of research, between 1 to 10,000 hours that I've put in. If I tell you I've mastered something, there is over 100,000 hours that I've put into dedicated learning in that. So when we talk about things like state management, when we talk about things like understanding the mind, understanding the conscious mind and the unconscious mind, I have put more work into this than most people can imagine. So you just got to understand. If you would like to debate me on that, that is okay, but I will bury you in knowledge and fact. Like, this is just who I am. I put 1,000 hours in because then I don't have to try. I don't have to try and learn if I'm willing to put 1,000 hours in to learn. Do you sort of get it? Like, for me, what I consider to be effortless is what you would consider to be the most difficult thing. Why? Because if it's effortless to me to do what you perceive as impossible, how can you do anything to me? What could anyone ever do to me? Do you sort of get it? Like, I create my own reality because I'm willing to shape and restructure my reality within my mind to get the results that I want in the world. Do you sort of understand? While others may try to win, I try to become. Do you sort of get it? So if I try to become psychology, understanding my mind, I'm going to put in effort to understand it at a level of conceptualization to where it is within me. And that's an important thing to understand because a lot of people are betas and posers where they think if they put 10 hours of research in, they know a topic, which is fucking bullshit. If you cannot talk for 1,000 hours on a topic, you do not know it. Like, that's just that. Like, if you cannot create 1,000 hours of conversation on a topic, like, you do not understand that topic. Do you know what I mean? And it's not that we're repeating ourselves again and again for 1,000 times. No, we're repeating the same information in different formats and variations. That's what mastery means. Mastery means that I am able to tell you a specific thing in any context, in any form. Do you sort of get it? I can tell you it in the context of being underwater. Do you know what I mean? I can tell you it in the context of you dying. I can tell you it in the context of like whatever it is. Like, I can tell you in any context that you can think of or imagine, because that's what it means to put in 1,000 to 100,000, hours into something. Is that it's not that you're hearing the same information again and again and again. It's you're hearing the same information in all these different ways and formats, and then you're having all these different experiences that shape it, all these different thoughts that shape it. So it's very, very important that we understand this concept of 1,000 hours, because that's my expectation, is that instead of trying to be good and trying to be the best and all this bullshit and trying to learn at a rapid rate, you just put in the work and you will become the best. Do you sort of get it? Put 1,000 hours into learning state management and you have mastered state management. You have control over it. I promise you, if you're not listening to fucking idiots, you'll know what you're talking about. Do you sort of get it? Like, we don't have to try and become the best on state management. If I put a fucking 1,000 hours into learning it, like, I can talk about it for 1,000 fucking hours. Do you know what I mean? Like, I am a master at it. I don't have to try and become a master at it because I've done the work. And that's an important aspect that I'm going to teach you throughout this program is how to do the work while giving you some of the most advanced understandings within, psychology, understanding, biochemical responses and understanding the conscious and the unconscious mind. Like, trust me when I say this, I can talk for years on this. All right. So another important thing to understand is that with me in life, okay, there is one way I do anything, one way, all or nothing, 180% or nothing. You either put in the work to achieve the results or you don't get the results. That's it. There is no failure. There is no falling. There is no, oh, maybe next time. It's we go until we die or until we succeed. Do you know what I mean? There's no point half going, half assing, doing 20% of the work. You know what I mean? Like, we do the work. So that's an important thing that you got to understand, because if you do not understand this aspect of all or nothing, you will not understand like how to achieve the results that you want. Do you sort of get it? Like, you can't have backup plans if you want success. You can't have a job on the side. You can't do this. You can't do that. It becomes the path. It's sort of like I'm not out here trying to breathe, methane gas. I want oxygen. Oxygen's the only thing I want. Don't give me anything but oxygen. Do you sort of get it? Like, yeah, I could probably survive on breathing methane gas, but it's probably not going to be the best result. So, like, my body is going to scream and urge for oxygen, nothing less, nothing else. Do you sort of get it? All or nothing. Okay. So you have to commit to your success, everything, or don't even show up, because if you're willing to breathe methane, you don't really need oxygen. Do you sort of get it? If you're willing to sacrifice your future, you don't really want success. You don't really want your future. And it has to be this unrelenting, unrealistic expectation that there is taking the hill or there is death. It doesn't matter what is on the hill. It doesn't matter how big the hill is, whatever. We are taking the hill or we are dying trying. That's it. All right. So that's an important aspect that we want to get into, is we're going to understand those aspects of creating that within you, creating that drive, creating that, that level of resistance to bullshit in life, resistance to taking less than you are. Do you sort of understand? So the goals and milestones of this program, okay? So I've designed this program specifically, okay, around the participants. So you as the participant, I've created this program with one goal, that you understand these core theories and these core, theses and this core information to such a level that it is ingrained within the back of your mind. Do you sort of get it? Like, you will be able to conceptualize everything that I have said. Every word in this document you will be able to conceptualize. Do you sort of understand it? You will understand the meaning behind every word because you will have the understanding. Do you sort of get it? Like, you don't need to read and interpret the word. You already know the meaning of it. And that's a funny thing. Because when we understand Zen, we understand that to learn something is as soon as I hear it, I have it. Do you get it? As soon as I want for something, I have it. And now it is just a matter of creating it. If I want a sandwich, I now have a sandwich. But if I would like that sandwich in reality, I must make a sandwich. Do you get it? So it's very important to understand these aspects because these aspects will allow you to consume and understand topics and information at much faster rates and higher rates because it's just if I believe I know what I'm on about, I know what I'm on about. Do you sort of get it? Like it's not a delusional believing we know what we're on about, but it's sort of like if I find a teacher for specific information and I believe the information that they present me is accurate, I will remember it. I will have it. It's in my memory. If I think someone's full of shit, I'm going to ignore everything that they say to me. Do you sort of get it? So if I believe that the words I say or that the words I hear have value to me, every word I hear has meaning, has additional meaning to it. It's important. It needs to be remembered. And this is the important thing that if you're able to grasp this concept, you'll be able to learn at a much rapider rate because you're getting rid of all the bullshit resistance to where it's the ego. I think I know better. Do you sort of get it? The ego sits there and lies and says it's difficult to learn. It's not difficult to learn. All you got to do is open your ears and remember. Do you sort of get it? Like it's not hard. How hard is it to remember something? If you're saying it's hard to remember something, you're either mentally retarded or, you're lazy. You've never put in the effort to learn, develop, or do anything. Like, whatever. Do you sort of get it? So it's very important that, like, you understand that, like, it's not like the goal is for you to understand this. Okay. It's everything else is irrelevant. Do you sort of get it? If you understand this, you have gotten everything. Do you sort of get it? If you cannot grasp the core information, you miss out on the true value of the program. You miss out on the opportunities of your future. Do you sort of get it? You'll get value out of the program, but you won't get the true value. The true value is found in the liberation that whatever I want in life, if I just go for it, I have it. Do you get it? I don't have to fuck around with all the bullshit. If I want $1 million, I'll go out and sell $1 million worth of product. Do you sort of get it? I can fucking talk all this bullshit to myself about how I can't do this, I can't do that, I'm this, I'm this, I'm this. When in fact, if I just do it and I just start and I just take action every day relentlessly towards my goal, I will reach my goal without any effort. Do you sort of get it? It's not difficult to put in the work towards what you want in life. And that's an important thing to understand because when we understand this, well, what's going to happen? Well, now I understand if whatever I enjoy in life becomes the most effortless thing to go after. Have you ever noticed that in your own life? That following what you find to be enjoyment, i.e., if you like to go out and listen to music and dance, listening to music and dancing at the club is the funnest experience. Do you sort of get it? Like it's not difficult to dance. You're exerting yourself, but you're enjoying it. Do you sort of get it? So when you understand this concept, now we understand that if I just find a way to enjoy whatever I do, I become more productive at it and it becomes easier. It's a little bit of a mental trick. So, another important thing to understand is my reasoning behind this program. So, my why. Okay. And it's deeply personal and spiritual to me, my why. Okay. And it's something that drives me in every decision that I make in life. And the reason I'm doing this is to expand the current conceptual understanding of business to blaze a path of self-liberation and freedom for anyone to follow. What do I mean by this? My goal is to raise current conscious understanding of communication, of understanding thought, of understanding the human mind, the conscious and the subconscious brain, of understanding manifestation, of understanding quantum mechanics and quantum entanglement, and how that in alignment with metaphysics, okay, create the fundamental framework for manifestation. Do you sort of get it? Like, my why is to take the unknown, the unknowable, and know it. And that's what I've done. And that's what a lot of the information in this program is designed on, is concepts that were currently unknowable that are now known. And it is my life mission to give it to you. Do you sort of get it? My goal is to help liberate you through understanding. When you understand the core concept that whatever I want in life, I can have if I just go after it, you are now liberated to have whatever you want in life. You don't ever have to worry another day. Do you sort of get it? It is a wild, wild thing. All right. So why then would I be offering this program? Why would I be helping people? Why wouldn't I just take this information and go off into the sunset and make my millions and enjoy my life and, charge people hundreds of thousands of dollars just for a bit of information? Because helping people is a part of my life. It's always been a part of my life. It's a firm part of my culture. Growing up, you help. That's it. You don't ask for anything. If someone needs help, you help, regardless. Like, to help without having or getting anything in return is the greatest show of strength. Do you sort of understand? Like, when I'm willing to help you because that is who I am, that is the strongest decision I've ever made. Do you sort of get it? What could you do or say to me to ever affect me? Do you know what I mean? Like, you could say, I don't want your help. Your help doesn't really do anything to me. Do you sort of get it? But you got to understand the other reasoning behind it is helping people is a way to biochemically hack our mind. When I help other people, I feel better about myself. I feel better about my connection with other people. Like, it has very selfish reasons for me helping other people. It's important to me because through helping other people, I feel whole. I feel normal. Do you sort of get it? Like, we feel human when we get the opportunity to be human. When we're trying to pretend to be this amazing person, we are the best actor in town, but we don't feel like an amazing person. But when I get to do something for someone because, then how amazing do you feel? Tell me. Tell me in your own life. Have you ever just given to someone without getting anything in return? Not because you want to be a great person, just because you want to do it because it's enjoyable to you. You enjoy it. You enjoy helping people. You enjoy the feeling of helping people and feeling good. Do you sort of get it? It's a very selfish thing to help people. And it's very rewarding and enjoyable because when we help people, other people help us. Do you sort of get it? Like, it works in our best interest. If we're always out there willing to help people, well, if someone sees us in need, they're going to be willing to help us. Do you know what I mean? Alrighty. So my values in life and business. So in life and business, my values have always remained the same. And it's a code that defines my existence and dictates every action I take in life. Okay. Like, you have to understand my values are the shield I use to defend any blow. In my values, I find in eternal strength. Do you sort of get it? Like, I have unlimited ability and energy. When I am honoring my values, I can fight from any position for any duration. Do you understand what this means? When I believe that that the fight that I am fighting, that what I am doing is the right action, is the right thing for me. There is no surrender. There is no, you know, running out of energy. There is no faltering. Do you sort of get it? When I have that level of honor within myself, of personal meaning behind my values, that becomes my fuel. When I'm in the wilderness trying to survive without food, without water, I do not need to drink, I do not need to eat. I have my values. My values are what fuel me to survive. If you would like to understand this at a high level, listen to David Goggins speak around when he's pushing himself, when he's pushing his body past breaking. Like, this is what he's doing. He's building up those values within himself, and they become what he holds on to while he's pushing beyond the known, beyond the limits. So you just got to understand, when I have values, when my values mean something to me in life and business, I can do anything. I can go anywhere. I can be anything. Do you sort of get it? Like, you can come and attack me and take everything from me, but I still got my values. Do you know what I mean? So it's pretty important. But to me, in life, I value honor, authentic truth, mastery, effort, action, respect, and most importantly, commitment. These values, every participant must embody in their own way. Okay? Like, you've got to embody what honorable means to you. You've got to embody what authentic truth means to you. You've got to embody what mastery means to you. You've got to embody what effort means to you. What does effort mean to you? What is effort to you? Do you sort of get it? We all create our own marker of what everything means. You got to understand what action means to you. Is action sitting around and waiting, or is action doing? Do you sort of get it? Respect. Is respect just saying nice things to people's faces, or is respect honoring someone else even if they're not there to defend themselves? Do you sort of get it? What's commitment? Is commitment being willing to do something until it's uncomfortable? Or is commitment being willing to be uncomfortable until what needs to be done is done? Do you sort of get it? Like, when we shift the language, when we shift the narration, when we shift the way we communicate to ourselves and the way we explain things to ourselves, we create new meaning, new identification. So you just got to understand about me. These values, these are the values I fight and die by. Do you sort of get it? Given the choice between death and breaking my values, I will choose death every time. You know what I mean? My body may be broken in life, but my oath to myself about myself will never be broken. Do you sort of get it? Like, no one can do anything to me to corrupt me, because if you try to get me to break my values, I will scream in my honor as I charge you, you know, attacking. Do you sort of get it? Like, if you try to make me break my own vows and honor to myself, I'm going to attack you before I break those vows. Do you sort of get it? Like, it's a wild thing. But when you understand these concepts in terms of really understanding, our values, our standards, these aspects that we hold dear, that we find meaning in. Do you sort of understand? It doesn't matter what anyone else thinks about what mastery is. What I think about mastery, what mastery is what means something to me. Do you sort of get it? Like, it's not that anyone else has to conform to my values for me to feel valued in holding them. And that's an important thing, because when we're able to get to that point, we're able to be secure even if no one else agrees with us. We're able to, in the worst cases of peer pressure, stand firm in our decision because we know it doesn't matter how many people are trying to tell me what's right. I know what's right to me, and that's all that matters. Alrighty. So my oath to and duty to the program members. Okay. So a thing you got to understand about me is personal oaths and oaths hold very, very sacred and very important meaning. Okay. So throughout this program, you're going to gain an understanding of the power of personal oaths within oneself. When I speak an oath to myself, I am making an agreement with myself based in my honor. Do you sort of get it? To break that is more painful than the feeling of failing another. Because for me to consciously break an oath I make to myself, I am now an oath breaker within myself. What I say about myself will never hold any value because I do not value my word. So it's important that we understand our oaths are ways we prove and demonstrate to ourselves the value of our word. Okay. So it is my oath to all participants to give you more of myself than anyone has ever. Okay. Like no one else will give you as much as I give you. Okay. I will work endlessly towards achieving all goals and remain committed. Like you've got to understand when life is burning around me in the chaos of battle, you will see me calmly and diligently moving forward. Take strength when you see me smiling as I walk through hell directly to what I desire in life. Never noticing what others perceive as being impossible, difficult, painful. Do you sort of get it? Whatever situation I am in becomes my reality. If you put me into the hell of battle, I am now in my reality. Do you get it? So you just got to understand like these personal oaths hold very, very sacred meaning to all of us. And it's very important because while we may talk away the value of our word to ourselves, it doesn't matter how much anyone tries to convince you that your word means nothing. Your word is everything. And our words have power because our words form the foundation of our reality. Alrighty. So my standards in life and business. Okay. So basically in life and business, the standards I hold against myself, okay, is to always seek to be the best, to take 100% responsibility for actions, like all actions I'm involved in, be it that I'm at fault or be it that someone else is at fault. You punch me in the face and it was my fault. Do you sort of get it? I take responsibility because in responsibility and accountability, I gain the power of the situation because now I have the power to decide how I am going to respond moving forward. Do you sort of get it? Like I set a standard for myself that is based in giving without thought of return. Do you know what I mean? In helping those in need. Do you sort of get it? Protecting those others seek to use. Like these are the standards that dictate how I must act. Do you sort of get it? When I have such high standards for myself, how I treat others is the same. Do you sort of get it? When I treat myself with such respect, am I not willing to treat others with such respect? If I do not respect myself, how could I ever respect another? So you just got to understand this. In life, we get one decision. Who am I? I decided who I am is someone who gains strength while others crumble, someone who stands for what is right, even at my own demise, and someone who runs in to confront danger instead of fleeing in fear. My standard is the level to which I commit and stand by any and all decisions, values, and beliefs. Do you sort of get it? Like, my standard is the level to which I will endure hell for a decision or my value or my beliefs. My standard says I should not lie. So I speak truth, even if that truth makes my life uncomfortable or difficult. Like, do you understand? Like, our standards are how we conduct ourselves in life and in business. Our standards are everything to us. All right. Well, this finishes off this part of the video. And in part two, we'll run through the next aspect of the program.